Hello all, I hope you are fine. I am Javelia from Craft Hike, and in this episode I will tell you guys how to achieve a perfect straight stitch. In the end of this video I will also share with you guys some tips, so make sure you watch till the end. If any one of you is having any problem with threading the machine, you can hop onto my channel and there is a very detailed step-by-step video on how to thread a machine, particularly Singer traditional 2263, but the steps are usually generic for all the machines, so you can go over there and have a look. I hope that helps. I'm very excited to start on this sewing project. I hope you are as well. So let's get started. Start by setting up our machine for the straight stitch. So I will show you guys how to do that. First of all, the presser foot used for doing a simple straight stitch is a normal presser foot which is available with all the machines with which you do the general stitching. This is number one. Then step number two is you have to set the pattern dial on the straight stitch. You can move it around like this and you have to set it on the straight stitch black pattern. Then you have to set the thread tension to number 4. This setting is for the straight stitch. Number 3, set the width for the stitch over this point over here. You will see a dot over here and you have to set it at this point. By setting this dial at this point, it ensures that the needle is at the center of the presser foot. When you move the width dial along the right or left direction, you will see that the needle moves along it. If you set it at number 0, the needle is at the extreme left side of the presser foot. So if you slowly start increasing the number, the needle starts moving toward the right. So in order to achieve a straight stitch, you have to keep it at point number this dot. But you can also experiment this in when you are a bit advanced in stitching. You can increase or decrease the number of this while keeping the dial at straight stitch. You can experiment with keeping the needle wherever you are comfortable at, but keeping it at middle is most generic and most used. Now, after doing the major settings which I have just told you, the next is to set up the length of the straight stitch. And this I think is very important in order to achieve a neat look on a fabric you're working with. Now, working with the most normal cotton fabric, we keep the length at point number 2. You can increase the length as the thickness of your fabric increases. Similarly, you can decrease the length of the stitch as your fabric thins up. So this is the general setting. I will be setting it at point number 2 because I will be working with the normal cotton fabric which is non-stretchable. You have to keep this in mind. So now, after you guys have prepared your machine for the straight stitch, you have set all the settings. Next step is to set up the fabric you are working. Now, if you are a beginner in stitching or you are learning this for the very first time, I will suggest that you mark the places where you have to stitch on the fabric. For example, I will now fold up the fabric. And suppose I have to do a straight stitch over here. I will mark an half an inch or an inch placed from here, and then I will mark it all the way down like this. This is very useful if you are a beginner. Once you are more advanced in stitching and you have more practice, you don't need this step. You will see as you progress further in the stitching. Also, hold together your fabric with the help of pins. This will make your stitching very easy, as the fabric won't slip while you're working with it. So now that you have prepared your fabric as well, let's start the stitching process. Turn on the machine. Make sure this lever is pointing upwards and is out of the machine, and you can see the head of it. Then place the fabric with needle on top of the line. Press the presser foot down with the lever. Move the hand wheel so that the needle is inside the fabric. Press on the presser foot. If you are new, just slightly press on the presser foot and the speed will be at its lowest. So let's start. As you increase the pressure on the presser foot, the speed will increase. Now keep a close look on how I do it. Slow speed. I am slowly increasing the pressure on it. And now I am increasing it again. When you are done with it, move the hand wheel so that the needle is out of the fabric and this thread guide is out of the machine. Pull up your lever like this. Pull the fabric and there will be a thread cutter over here. You can use your scissors or simply cut it from here. Here. You have achieved a perfect straight stitch. Now I am increasing the length slowly and I want to show you the difference in the length of the fabric over here. This was number 2. Now you can go on to number 3. And now number 4. Now another important feature is to lock the fabric so that the seam doesn't rip apart. You have a reverse button for that. So when you're stitching it like this, keep the needle at the upward position, press on the reverse button and it will go backwards, then release it and then press. Take out like this and it will lock the fabric and make sure the seam doesn't rip apart like this. Now you guys know how to prepare your machine for the straight stitch and how to prepare your fabric for a straight stitch. If you are a beginner in sewing or you are using the stitching machine for the very first time, I hope this is very helpful for you all. And please feel free to ask me anything in the comment section below. I will be more than happy to help you all with you guys taking up with this craft. Bye for now. See you all in the next video.